Awesome. So this is the Public Safety Standing Committee for March 6th, 2026, and we're going to get started. Can we do a roll call, please?
Manning. Thompson. Here. Jerk.
Here.
Cosgrove.
Here.
Frank.
Here.
Severson. And Fleming. You have 4 for a quorum, sir.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Verification of the open meeting compliance law. Everything's posted well. Awesome. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. We have a 10-point agenda. Looking for motion to approve that. Motion by Cosgrove, second by Thompson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? On item number 5, approval of the minutes from February 6th, 2026 meeting. Everybody's had a chance to look at those. Looking for approval of those minutes. Thompson's approval, Cosgrove second. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, moving on. Item number 6, public comment. Looking at a public comment opportunity. Anybody online? Start with anybody online for public comment. Hearing nothing, seeing nothing in the chat online. Anybody in the room here? Public comment, anybody in the room? Hearing none, moving on to item number 7, reports, Sheriff Department activities and monthly bills.
Urban made some hours, 35. Had 340 complaints for the month. 59 citations issued, 2 warnings, 38 civil process papers served, 15 transports for the month, and an average number of 3 on electronic monitoring. Dispatch activity, we had 555 calls for service, 85 calls for EMS, 190 calls for the police department, and 13 calls for the fire department.
Any questions on that for the sheriff? Topics?
Questions on the bills?
Right away, bills, anything on the bills? Anybody take a look at those?
I don't see it on this for February bills, but in March bills, we will have a bill that should pop up from Iowa County. That's for inmates out of county. We've had still continue to have inmates at Iowa County, so we've brought the number of how many down, but we will have bills coming through for that.
And what is the rate for Iowa County? They're charging
$60 a day, I believe. Yeah, 60 a day.
Okay. Plus medical or plus anything
Well,
else
yeah,
that comes
plus
up,
medical or anything
it's all
else that
extra.
pops up, yep.
General communications, there's a bill there for $43,000. Is that part of the radio project?
Yeah. I don't actually have bills on here. Let me look.
Okay.
Which number is that?
That's number 8, and then also number 12 is Motorola Solutions. Oh, that's the contract.
Yep.
Okay.
So Fund 150. I'm not familiar with 150. I think that might be the borrowed money for the project.
Okay.
Yep. And then what did you say?
I think Motorola Solutions was on there.
That is our maintenance
contract.
For our CAD RMS systems, and that comes out of that.
That's right, because it's no longer Spillman name, that's Motorola Solutions. Okay. Forgot about that transition. All right. All right, any other questions on the bills? Hearing none, the committee, just so that you know, the committee no longer needs to approve the bills, but we do like to have the bills out in the public so people can see it and have questions. So that's why we do that part of that. So thank you very much. Anything else, Sheriff, on those 2 items?
Yeah, we're still waiting for new squad cars that have been ordered. And we're lining up equipment and a vendor to do installs on that. So.
Okay. All right. Very good. Moving on then to the coroner. And squad miles, there's a coroner's report in the packet. Committee is welcome to take a look at that. If you've seen it, it's on the screen. Any questions on the coroner's report? Hearing none, thank you for the report. Moving on to the Circuit Judge Department activities. Judge,
Good morning.
morning.
I don't have much to say. Just wanted to update everyone that we just continue to do the hard work of the circuit court. Do our best to be accessible and efficient, managing our calendars. I know over the last several years, I keep mentioning that, there's been a backlog and we keep catching up. I feel like we're in a really good place now. We're all very mindful of trying to manage the calendar so that future cases don't have to get set out too far. People can get in and have their controversies fairly and promptly tried. Just want to give a shout out to our staff. Our staff are all very competent, hardworking, every single one of them. They work very hard to make the best use of the resources that they have. I feel like we're doing well. In addition to taking care of cases, I continue to go out of county because I have to go where I get assigned to out of county cases. Not as much as I used to, but I still do. And they still continue to come in. In addition to working on our caseload, we also have a treatment court here, as everyone knows. We meet bi-weekly. We have a whole team of people who are work on our treatment court and help participants of that treatment court find success in sobriety and hopefully become responsible members of our community. We continue to graduate members, and that's always really exciting and satisfying. I oversee a couple of subcommittees, the Courthouse Security Committee and the Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee. Those meet quarterly. I know that the next agenda item, the Courthouse Security Report, we can just deal with now. We have another Courthouse Security and Facilities Committee meeting on March 23rd, which is a Monday at 3 o'clock. I'd invite anyone that would like to attend from our county board to attend.
That's here in this room?
Yes. We continue to tackle all things security. And it seems like we make baby steps, and that's good because it is forward movement. We still have significant security needs and concerns. But I feel like this committee and the county board as a whole and Tricia, everyone has their eyes on it. Feels like it's a priority. In fact, there was a formal motion and to make it a priority. So as we look at the needed renovations here as a county, that's certainly going to be in the forefront. And we continue to look forward to that. We still are mindful of the needs of our second courtroom and the need to have Zoom there. That's been discussed over and over and over again, and the need for that is still an ongoing need, but I understand that that has to be coordinated with what the county as a whole is going to do in terms of moving forward with the space needs and the needed renovations and the need for to do something with the jail, and all of that has to overlap and interplay. But we all have our mind around that. We'll continue to bring that up to make sure that no one's forgotten.
Okay.
So
That's good to know. That's why we're here. All right. Any questions for item C or D from the circuit, from the judge? Committee online, anybody? Awesome, thank you.
thanks.
Moving on to item E, clerk of court.
Good morning.
Morning.
So all of my report did get included into the packet, right? I wasn't sure because I didn't get it done until last night.
And we had an email also that you
Yeah, that's what, because I send it to MIS and to Miranda, so it can get
Okay.
included in the packet, but I'm not sure. I know I'm always pressing the deadline. We've had, in the last few weeks, we've had reasons why staff in our office have had to be out that were not planned. And so I've double dutied for about half of the month and including this week. And so I was just kind of, I know Clay has something that he wants me to work on regarding collections that I'm helping look into for him. And I said, I have some time sensitive things that have to get done. This wasn't even the most time sensitive of those. First of all, I needed to get the month end done yesterday so that I could pay out to the county the money that our office collects in February so that the county can make payment to the state by the deadlines set there. So had a little bit of pressing catch up to do, and I didn't get to this report as soon as I wanted. But it worked out because I had asked Tammy Newberry if she could run the reports in Tyler. Just being, I know that we have the ability to run them in Tyler now. I haven't done it enough times that I just get frustrated each time I get in there, and I was like, I don't have time to, right now it's gotta get like this. So she ran me the 2025 reports. So then I had those, by waiting to do your report, I had the reports from Tammy, which I really appreciated. And I was actually stunned because I knew that we were coming in under for 2025. I didn't realize how well. The reason that it's often such an unknown how much we're under budget or close to our budget projections is that we can get these large bills that come in that have to be paid out, mainly for attorneys. And fortunately, as I looked at it and I thought, how in the world did we go as far under as we did? And I remembered that in this last year, there's a couple of, I'd say pricier, the judge might dispute my terminology of that, but a couple of more expensive attorneys are typically no longer appointed to criminal cases. That's helped a lot. That had more impact than we realized. Well, every time I saw those budget or saw those bills, I was like, and so the bills that we've been getting, and I think people are getting just as good of service, the court-appointed attorneys that are currently on the roster are really fine individuals who are providing a solid service and they're not soaking the county. That's huge. But also, I think combined with that and maybe a little bit of a more depressing statement is that I think probably, without going through the stats of every case, I wouldn't know, but I think more people in the county probably qualify for public defender. That's not a good economic statement, particularly of individuals that find their way into the system. All sorts of studies could be done on that. I'm not saying that the county as a whole is like economically depressed. I'm saying that it does appear that many of the individuals, and a lot of them are repeat individuals, and no surprise types of offenses, drugs, alcohol, this and that, those individuals may not be in the best economic position of their lives. So probably we see more public defender appointments, which means that's on the dime of the state. It's only if individuals call the public defender, everybody has to call the public defender. Nobody can just say, I don't qualify, whatever. We have to have proof. And if the public defender doesn't appoint, but the people do not have the financial means to pay a retainer, hire counsel on their own, which is often then the case. And that's the judge does an extensive questioning colloquy with them. And then the court has to appoint at county expense. So then I begin by setting up, these are all working people then, what you would call working poor. And so then I set up wage assignments and do wage assignment orders and work with their employers and with the individuals to get small monthly or biweekly payments that I hold in trust accounts, many trust accounts, and manage that until the end of the case when the attorney bills. And then I apply the money that I've been holding towards the bill and bill the defendant for the rest, keep them going on a payment plan. If they default, then I take collection actions on them. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been working on defaulted pay plans and I only had like maybe 36 people that were defaulted on the payment plans that they've set up. Granted, a lot of people never even set up payment plans and they just go right to the default status. But for those who did, and of the 36 or so, many had only missed a couple payments and they've been trying to catch up recently. I went through every account and looked at it. Some have completely blown us off. They're going straight to collections. But I've been tailoring each account to whatever needs to happen so that it's best for the county. And that we're also communicating and working with the individual that owes the money, given the fact that we realize that their financial status is not prime. So that's just one segment of, what we do in our office it's very visible when a clerk is in the courtroom, what they're doing. But I think behind the scenes, what people don't realize is the financial duties that are done in our office and the impact that they have on the county. And I'm very proud of what we do and how we do it. And I know that we are about the lightest staffed in the state because I have the same amount of staff as counties up north that share a judge with other counties that don't have a full-time judge. And neighboring Crawford County has more staff. Neighboring Iowa County has more staff. Iowa County has slightly more caseload than us, but Crawford no. And so, and I'm the mentor to both of those clerks. And so I've worked closely in those counties over the years and know their systems. Our systems are quite a bit alike. So I'm very proud of what our people do here. And I think that needs to be acknowledged. And all of that said, that is what led to the push through the state, started here in Richland County on behalf of this rural county, knowing that we couldn't just make an impact and ask for more money for Richland County. We had to do it so that it would be for the entire state. And so that is where this push came, that we got the attention of the legislature and the governor got more money in the budget bill. That is also a large reason that we had an increase last year. And that budget bill wasn't in effect until July. So that's not even a full year impact of the new budget bill on the county's state support payment. And then now signed is the court fees bill, which will address fees that are county retained that have gone unaddressed by the legislature for about 3 decades. So that will make a large impact. Numbers, we'll have to wait and see. There's no way to predict what all those will be. But while that is a fee increase, anyone who is indigent in our county and cannot pay the fee will still be offered an indigency waiver form. Same process as what we do now, but as a requirement of that bill, we will post a written notice at the door. All counties will have to do it. But I don't think that it's not going to be like we're having a sale on waivers. That won't happen because they still have to pass the same means test as they do now. And anyone now who indicates I can't pay that, we say, here's the fee waiver. So I don't think that there shouldn't be a fear that we're gonna waive all fees. That won't happen. But I think those two things will have great gains. It has been a pleasure to work with the clerks of court and to get everyone banding together on this. And we have a lot of new clerks in the state of Wisconsin who have a lot of energy. So I was proud to be their leader during that time, during their first term, and get them energized selfishly so that it had an impact here in Richland County. But we got it for the entire state and working on that. And I think that it's important, whether I'm the clerk of court or somebody else is in the future, that it be included as part of the job description for the clerk of court in this county, that they be legislatively active. Because I think that we have to stay at the forefront of these things so that we don't lose ground on this work that's been started, because it took a lot to lead up to this. I could not have pulled this off when I was 5 years in, 10 years in. I needed to build the experience and skills and then teach other clerks how to do these things. So our staff now, our staff could go toe to toe with a lot of the clerks of court in the state of Wisconsin and lead agencies on their own. So I don't think it's unreasonable to expect people in this position to be held to a higher standard.
Awesome. It's good to hear that that's moved forward finally.
Yeah, and people
Long haul.
thought it couldn't be done, and here it is. So the governor is supposedly going to sign the budget bill the first week of April. There was some talk that maybe we could nudge him and get it signed earlier, because the earlier we can get it signed, the earlier it's in effect, the more potential impact even to this year's budget. But it sounds like he has so many bills that are awaiting signature that that's probably not gonna happen, but we might still, you know, who knows? We might still try.
You never know.
Yeah, we can only try.
Exactly. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Questions for Stacy?
I just want to say I really enjoyed your email and thank you, and I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. That's nice to hear, and it seems very sincere, and I appreciate that.
There was a lot in your email. I was
Yeah,
like,
there's
I was impressed.
There's a lot going on, and there's a lot more to the job. It's not just taking minutes. So it's much more complex than that, and it's important that the board understands it. I mean, our legislature understands it.
Yeah.
It's
No,
important that our leaders on the local level do too.
I'm very thankful you're mentoring other people and helping other people and you're training other people.
Yeah. We have
So that's,
We have a very solid district.
yeah,
Our district probably leads the state, so.
that's good.
Right ahead. Awesome. All right. Any other questions? Awesome. Hearing none, moving on to register and probate.
Good morning. So just the first thing, I just want to touch base. So as we're kind of getting into the middle of March here, we're nearing the end of the period for 2025 where bills can be submitted and therefore paid out of the 2025 budget. So I did come in under budget, 36,000. If you can kind of look to the variance favorable column there on the attorney's fees. So it's always a little hard to predict and plan for where the attorney's fees are going to be spent. So if you notice, I was over budget, $5,600 on guardian ad litem fees. And that's for guardianships. So, if you noticed in the coroner report that 7 of the 9 people were on hospice, it does seem like a lot of our time and energy right now is going into guardianships. That there's a lot of, it seems like an increase in cases in that population, people with getting dementia and that type of thing, where they need help both, going to their medical appointments as well as financially. But I was under budget in the guardian ad litem fees and the adversary counsel when attorneys are appointed, when people are contesting. So it seems like, for whatever reason, more time is being put into the older population than into the juvenile, which is I'm just noticing that in 2025. That was a little bit of a switch from what has been the case in previous years. I would say from 2020 to 2024, it seemed like we were having a lot of juvenile cases, and that seems to be, at least right now, down just a little bit. There was also some of the adversary counsel is when people are contesting their cases. And so we have some very good attorneys that can kind of facilitate and mediate. And so I think that does help. So in some of those, for a few years there, we had some very highly contested cases, and those have resolved and are now completed. And I think that has also been a factor. So that's just, not that you can always explain why things are up and down in your budget, but I just wanted to kind of point that out. So there should be very little coming in now until the time when it says, we can no longer accept any, if we get a few attorney bills where work was completed in 2025, that would just be coming in next.
26.
So other than that, I just wanted to touch base on the budget since it was March, and it seems like that's
Good to see.
I probably won't include that, the 2025 one in April. I feel like that kind of tells you where we ended up for last year. And right now, things are going well for 2026. So other than the budget, like both the judge and Stacy said, we've just been taking care of business a lot, and that keeps us busy. So I really don't have anything too new on that front. I just want to reiterate what the judge said. We still do need Zoom in the small courtroom, and I'm encouraged that we're looking at renovating some things and making those changes. So I feel like been, as this, again, like the judge said, we've been asking and stating this for a long time, and it just, I feel like it's hard to stay patient, but so I just want to real quick point out, so right now, again, when just a small example of all the details, but when Judge Gaskell from Vernon County comes to visit Richland County, right now, he doesn't have his own court reporter. His court reporter, he doesn't have his own individual one. Right now, his court reporter is being pulled from a pool of court reporters. So that means right now, 99% of the time, if Judge Gaskell comes here in person, he has to have the large courtroom because his court reporter is appearing by Zoom. So even if there's not a case where there's a doctor or an expert or someone else that's not appearing by Zoom, he has to have the large courtroom. That automatically, if Judge McDougall has any cases, kicks Judge McDougall to the small courtroom. So regardless of what she has going on or planned or whatever, sometimes, so there's always things to take into consideration when something is scheduled by an out-of-county judge. And then we also have Judge Allen, and who comes, and both of them do a lot by Zoom. And Judge McDougall's been also had some very intensive cases going on in Juneau County because even though they have two judges there, it's a small community and they know people and there's connections and stuff. So of course, the cases that are typically given to out-of-county judges are not fun cases. So just wanted to point out some of the details when we say we're just taking care of business. As Stacy has said, there's a lot to just taking care of business, a lot of details, a lot of coordination, a lot of things that might not always see the eye. And when you're working with 2 and 3 and 4 judges from different counties, that can all make a difference. So just wanted to mention all of that again.
Awesome, thank you. And it's a process. So, all right. Other questions for register and probate?
So we got to see the jail, and that was really interesting and stuff, but I've never seen the courtroom. So when they're talking large courtroom, small courtroom,
No,
can we look at the courtroom?
absolutely.
So check out where you guys work?
Yeah.
Please.
Yes,
Sometime.
yeah.
I mean, obviously when there's public cases going on or whatever.
No, you
Don't
can.
understand, but I would be very.
Can. Most cases are open. Those that are closed, there will be a sign saying that it's closed, but
I'd be very interested in seeing all of that too.
there's people that work in this building and have for years who've never stepped foot in the courtroom
Okay.
because they say they're afraid.
I've never been in the courtroom before.
I get that a lot. They're like, oh, I just wish I could see it. And I'm like, come on up.
Yeah.
Oh, I could
The
get
jail,
up.
the jail inspection is a state statute, is a requirement for the committee. So as for the courtroom, you can go anytime, just meet with them and go up and
Yeah.
walk
Absolutely.
through and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Give you a behind the scenes tour.
Yes.
Be great.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, other questions? All right, moving on, district attorney. From the district attorney. Hearing, seeing nothing, moving on, ambulance service. Barb?
Our calls for February of 26 were down again, which 26 has been a nice year for the community. They haven't needed us as much. So far, year to date, last year we were 250 through February, and this year we're only at 172. Our expenses are up. Most of that difference that you're seeing is the deer repairs. We still are waiting for, some lighting to be fixed on 33. Then it'll finally be back in service, but the vendors just have a little difficulty. We've had no employment changes, no one's left, so we're very stable that way. I'm
Fully staffed?
fully staffed.
Okay.
So far with the revenues, this is pulled yesterday. Our income has been 227,926. No, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Our billing and our other income matches that. Our expenses were 236,381 for a deficit of 8455. Part of that is completely recoverable with the grants that we got. Our FAP is 40,000 budgeted at 10. So it more than covers that. We also have 2 years of back pay that'll be coming in from WGMD, which is the additional payments from Medicaid that they'll be giving us. And those are about $30,000. It's 19 the first year, and the second year is 27.
Excellent. All right, questions from the committee? All right, anything else for the ambulance service? All right, thank you, Barb. Moving on, emergency management. I think we have anybody here right now. I think Josh is doing that right now, so nothing new with that at this point. All right, moving on, item J, PSAP NG 911 grants. Any status updates on any of that we, GIS grant deadline was last week, I think.
Yeah, yep, and I don't know if Devin is on. We were getting some last minute things signed last week, ready to get the applications out. I believe they went out. We've been working on getting some stuff for prior PSAP grants for the 26 PSAP grants in order so we can that dispatch upgrade furniture. And we need to get a wiring component figured out and get some quotes on that. Try and get rid of some of the old wiring and upgrade the current wiring. And, yeah.
Okay.
So.
And the next round should be coming out in June of this year is what we're hoping for the next PSAP round. So be ready for that. All right, any other questions, topics from anybody on the PSAP or NG 911 grant? GAS? Okay. Hearing none, radio tower update. Would you like to introduce yourself as the new radio?
Well, hi everyone. Good to see you, Barbara. I don't know, when did you leave?
It's been a year.
It's been a year already. Wow.
It's been a year.
So I did have a first time meeting. So, so everybody, I'm Jeremy Bork. I was hired on to take over as a radio support technician working with Jason. And I come with a pretty robust background working in emergency communications and supporting everything from county to state to federal level support. Most recently, I came out of, I was a telecom project manager out at Fort McCoy. So overseeing all of our communication activities, all of our infrastructure, pretty much all that. So I only live 30 minutes away. So when this position opened up, it was like, yes, there's something right in my backyard. So it looked good. It looks like we have some things to kind of work through as we finish up the back end of this tower project, which essentially is a pretty large undertaking to transition a whole county into a new voted simulcast system. And so I'm still kind of catching up on some of the back history as well as, finding out what some of our still shortfalls are, or maybe some support stuff that we can look forward, working with the sheriff and the, the dispatch center going forward to kind of improve a lot of that. So yeah, you'll see me around a lot, and I'll be getting involved a lot more as the days go on. So I appreciate the time and the ability to use myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's good to have you on board with the projects. Sheriff, as for the testing, the project, how's that been going? Just give an update.
It seems to be going well. We've had some gremlins pop up with equipment issues. And I guess I say equipment issues. We've had to do some firmware updates to get some of those gremlins taken care of on our portable equipment. And then we've just, some of the mobile equipment gremlins, I think are learning curve stuff that we're figuring out as we're going. So, when we run into one of them, we get a hold of Gen Com, and they're usually pretty quick to help us get it figured out. So we're, I think the testing is going pretty well. We're locking down some licensing on a couple more channels right now. And once we have that done, I think we're gonna start pushing to have our other first responder groups getting reprogrammed and ready to operate on the new system. So I think we're looking at probably another week or so on that licensing stuff, and then we'll start pushing to have everybody reprogram and get ready to operate in the new system.
I'm hoping less than a week on that.
That would be great.
That's a challenge. So, anyway, okay. Any questions on the radio project? Good to hear. Finding problems, fixing them. So, all right. Hearing nothing else, item number 8, correspondence. Any correspondence? No correspondence. Item number 9, future agenda items from the committee. In particular, relatively short meeting today with no action items. That's good.
One item, a few months back, I asked, and then I noted I was going to be gone for the February meeting. I think that's where we're going to set it, the item about considering the name of the committee, Public Safety and Judiciary Committee.
I will follow up on that. Yeah, we did talk about that.
What is the date of the next?
Oh, yeah, so the first Friday in April is
Yes.
Friday.
Not the first.
So it's Good Friday, you said?
So it would be the 10th would be the date, is that right?
Good Friday holiday?
Yeah.
For us?
We just added
For
it.
county.
Okay.
Yeah, it has been.
So the 10th.
The 10th and not the 3rd.
We're not closed on the 3rd.
April 10th then.
Cool.
All right, anything else? Future agenda items? If not, motion to adjourn. Thompson, second by Cosgrove. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned.